Hi and welcome to the Bristol Music Show. Today we're talking about independent record stores in the city, the people behind them and the music lovers that keep them going. We'll also be talking to a guy later on who has quite a bit more vinyl than I do.
He does, yeah. We'll find out exactly how much later on in the programme. But now time for some live music, and we're here at the Centre for Better Grooves, a record store in Redland, with Fraser Anderson.
Cold out here, and this place is dark. Your scarf has fallen. The wind you hear has pinned you down and cut you open. But the spring is so much closer than you know. The spring is so much closer than you know. You were all I had. With our years ahead and nothing more. And I could never have dreamed of anyone that's better than you are. 'Cause no one could ever come close. So if this time has run its course, I'll always guard your flame. Again and again, again and again, from the wind and the rain. And I've heard from old lovers and other strangers of how fallen angels fly right over the water that's been pulling me under and making me wonder why. And inside black and white with a small light on the ground where I've fallen over with my hand on your shoulder. But now that we're older and in all of your splendor, you are all I have. With our years ahead and nothing more, and I could never have.
Thanks to Fraser Anderson and Bex Baxter there. More live music from them later in the show. Now, with vinyl record sales at the highest they've been in 20 years, it's no wonder Bristol's independent record shops are thriving. We visited Rise and Idle Hands on Record Store Day 2016 to see what you were buying and how the shops were supporting and showcasing local artists.
I've actually bought nothing that's actually special edition. I bought the Charlton's EP, that's about it really, to be honest, from Record Store Day. The rest is actually just music that I wanted.
Hello Kitty on Ice, which is like Neil Hamburg's kind of hardcore band that he was in the 80s. I've got some Russian shoegaze from Pink Shiny Ultra Blast.
Oh, nice.
He basically like, they never released anything more than 500 copies.
Elvi, Solarized, Manic Street Features, Designed for Life Special Edition, and they sang the Charlatans EP, the remix by Norman Cook.
Okay, I bought the Komodo album on Black Acre, and I bought the new Hotline record from Bristol, and the new Headhunter record from Bristol as well. So lots of Bristol music. I wanted the Dubcasm one, but they sold out. Too popular, too Bristol.
I'm Adrian, I work at Rise. We've had a mental day, as always, on Record Store Day. Yeah, it's been good. We have, the normal Record Store Day stock upstairs, but then we open up downstairs and have a mix of touring big bands and local bands playing all day, throughout the day, and DJs upstairs.
Comfortably, I tell myself that I don't need the harvest anymore. I should dispel it, 'cause
I mean, it's great. It gets people in the shop. It's just such a great atmosphere. Personally, I think it's losing its direction in terms of where the major labels are involved, but you can't fault it for what it is. It's brilliant.
Speak to me, I will.
And now for the second instalment of our series on Bristol's music video directors. We asked James Hankins to make us a piece about what he does. This is what he sent us.
Not the best driver in the world. Okay, let's go this way. Oh, okay, so yeah, my name, I'm wanted to create some creative hubs in Bristol. So I mean, this is the seventh studio now, Frozen Yogurt Studio, that we've opened. It just basically places for artists to hang out and share ideas, enjoy yogurt, obviously, and yeah, just chill out, basically. But yeah, I mean, these hubs, hopefully these Frozen Yogurt Studios are going to be a place where people can come and share ideas, artists, they can hang out. Like here, this is my 5th studio now I've set up. Got another 2 still, like I say, in development. They're key to, I want to nurture other artists and just make as much art as possible, really. So the studios are a good place for meetups and hookups.
Still to come on the Bristol Music Show, we catch up with a Bristol Record about their successful crowdfunding mission to create a vinyl album of Bristol artists, and we have more live music from Fraser Anderson.
But now, talking of crowdfunding, this band also recently raised funds through a crowdfunder to be able to press their new album onto vinyl. This is the first release from that album. The video only came out on Friday. It's Screamin' Miss Jackson and the Slap Your Mama Big Band.
Come on, Daddy, lay down and try, gotta show me, baby, if you want my love. Oh, sweet, sweet Daddy, give me a little rub. come on home, and you'll find you're all alone. Your toss and turns, howl and scream. Oh, Daddy, know what I mean? You got to show me, baby, if you want my love.
Welcome back to the Bristol Music Show. Still to come, we've got another session from Fraser Anderson, and we're also catching up with Gordon from the Centre for Better Grooves. But we're currently sat in the cellar of the Louisiana because we've just screened the first episode of season 2 for the Bristol Music Show. So we're celebrating. We weren't meant to be filming this evening, so I brought my Zoom along as always. So we're using this instead of a microphone, just in case you wondered what it was. But we're not the only ones celebrating tonight, are we?
No, we're not, because the Bristol Record have been crowdfunding for the past kind of month or so to produce. Well, I'll let Johnny kind of tell us what it's all about. But today they reached their target. So Johnny, Woo! DJ Dad, hello.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's great to be celebrating with you here in this dampish cellar in the Louisiana. The Bristol Record. It's we myself and Ben Capp, who's a sound engineer, and I'm a DJ. We had been chatting about the idea of making a record which didn't represent Bristol and all the scenes, but kind of captured quite a lot of what was happening in Bristol musically at the moment. We initially thought we'd make an album, but then our list was just so big, and there were so many people we wanted to include and so many different styles of music that we wanted to have on the album, that we ended up talking ourselves into producing a double album, then kind of realised how much that would cost and how kind of difficult and complex it was. So anyway, cutting a very long story short, because this all started maybe 3 years ago, we started a crowdfunder, as you said, a month ago. It's a new thing for both of us. It's an incredibly stressful, difficult, complicated, weird thing to do, but today we actually hit our target.
We've got to wait until the autumn or even winter before we can get our hands on these.
Yeah, well, we're pretty confident it'll be the beginning of November. Partly because of the increased demand on vinyl pressing, there's a huge run-in time, but we're more or less guaranteed an 18-week period. We've got most of the mastering done. We haven't paid for it, but we will be able to tomorrow. And most of the kind of licensing is in place. The cover design is in place, so we can send it off pretty soon, and then it's a ticking clock. It's 18 weeks.
I think it's time for us all to do a cheers. Yeah. We'll see you in the autumn, but thank you for coming to our screening and congratulations.
Well, thank you so much. It's great.
This week we're focusing on vinyl records and Bristol's record shops. One man who knows a thing or two about this subject is Gordon Montgomery. Harriet caught up with him at the location for this week's session.
So Gordon, we're here outside your record store. It's been open for about a year now, hasn't it?
Just over a year.
What got you started working in record stores in the first place? Because you've been doing it since you were
I just walked
really
past
young.
HMV in my hometown, saw an advert for a Saturday worker, went in. It's the only interview I've ever had, and I passed it.
And you've carried on?
Worked for HMV, Virgin. Then I started Fopp Records in Glasgow in 1981.
Wow. Okay, and now here, so we're on Cranbrook Road, and you opened about a year ago, so what's the business been like?
It's okay, it's picking up, it takes a while. It's quite specialist. Vinyl specialist, of course, only 1 in 100 want to buy it. I've got some good quality records, been working on the selection. It's hard to market. How do you market to 1 in 100 people when you're in a back street anyway? So it's about building a reputation, having the right records at the right price, good quality, good service.
Now, Record Store Day has been happening for a few years, and it's happening this April, so you're not getting involved. Is there a particular reason for that?
I was involved. I can only talk about my experience the last time I was involved 3 years ago. I mean, it's very good. You take an awful lot of money on the day. When you come to pay the bills a month later, the money seems to disappear again. The margins that you make from the suppliers are fairly wafer thin, and all the records are on firm sales, so if you don't buy enough, the customers are disappointed, and if you buy too many, you're stuck with stock you can't get rid of.
Okay, so as you can see, we've been doing a little bit of a show today on independent record stores, a little bit on Record Store Day. We thought we'd get along to a collector, and we've come to see Benny here, who has got an astronomically large collection. How many do you think you've got in that collection?
Well, I reckon in terms of my immediate listening collection, there's about 2,000, with maybe a couple of thousand or 1,000 hanging on. The ones that
in boxes somewhere.
In boxes that I reluctantly have to shift and move house with.
How did it start? And do you know exactly where it started?
Well, I mean, over the last 5 years, it's accelerated in terms of size. But where it began, as I pulled out from the shelf,
I've dug out a few vinyl here.
Is these two with my favourite, my guiding light.
So we got The Times Are Changing by Bob Dylan, which is one of my favourites of all time as well.
Yeah.
And then the Historic Basement Tapes, which is again a classic. But that's where it all began.
That's where it all began when my mum was getting rid of her own collection that was under the floor, under the stairs, under her bed. She was worried about weight of the floorboards, and I'm really happy that I just said no, I don't want to get rid of those two. I wish I'd said the whole collection.
Keep them all. Yeah, I bet you're seething about that to this day.
Yeah.
So we did a little bit on Record Store Day earlier, and we were talking. You said you actually managed to get down, and you got a really interesting piece as well.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your day.
Yeah. So I wasn't going to go to Record Store Day at Rise, but I was flicking through the list quite casually and saw this Cambodian cassette archives having gone on to many people about how this should be pressed on record, and it was, and it has been. So I queued up at 5:30 in the rain.
It's got some great artwork.
Yeah.
5:30 in the rain outside Rise.
Yeah, not something I'd particularly shout about. It seems a bit kind of peculiar to do that outside a shop, and there is a reluctance about the day and to create that kind of demand and fanboy, like obsessive collector thing. I like to keep it kind of quieter than that.
Yeah, I really like the look of this. Can we get it? Can we play it?
Let's put it on.
I lived in Cambodia for a little bit, so this is it's great. Well, we'd like to thank you a lot for showing us your collection today.
How many vinyl have you got?
Maybe about 20, 30?
I've got about the same. So if we put them together, we might be
nowhere near. No.
Anyway, that's it for the Bristol Music Show this week. We'll be back on Monday night alongside Audiophiles on BCFM.
And make sure you check us out on social media in the week. But for now, we're going to say goodbye and hand back over to Fraser Anderson.
She walks across the way with not much to light the day at that time of the morning. She's still a long way from home. She lifts up her shoulder bag, thinks of the times they had, and rolls her own. As she stumbles around inside the sounds of the town, thinks to herself, and it goes,
when will I be able to meet with people who wear their truth on their sleeves,
loyal and good
with beautiful eyes?
With beautiful eyes. She looks up at the early sky. It tells her that she's still high. She's high and she's low, and her skin feels cold, almost blue. And the metro is still not on, 'cause everyone else has gone away. And she thinks, bring on the day. And she floats off towards the Latterie on the Champs-Élysées. And
when will I be
able to meet with people
who wear their truth on their sleeves,
loyal and good with beautiful eyes? beautiful eye. So she lights up a cigarette and hears the sparrows, je ne regrette rien. Then she closes her eyes to a surprise when a voice in her ear whispers something loud and clear. It says, you are so beautiful, so just trust in it all and love the one who looks back at you from the wall. When will I be able to meet with people who wear their truth honestly, who are loyal and good with beautiful eyes?